Welcome back to the Shankly Sessions, folks, the Liverpool podcast we bring you each and every week on the upper tier on YouTube. You'll also find audio versions of the show out there on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Just a little Chelsea versus Liverpool preview tonight that we're going to bring you. As always, if you could head over there, light up that subscribe and bell notification button, that would be greatly appreciated. Another tough preview to do here with everything that's going on at the moment with this virus and stuff like that at the moment. It's causing havoc with fixtures and with the league at the moment. But at the moment, it looks like it's going ahead. The Super Sunday, this Sunday, 4:30 at the Bridge, Chelsea versus Liverpool. Going to be an absolute belter of a game. Tuchel versus Klopp, two of the best in the business at the moment. Both of them vying to stay in a title race. Kind of seems like nearly like an eliminator, doesn't it, at this stage, where you're thinking like the winner of this game continues on the road in a title race and the loser is going to end up in a top four race, basically, and that's how it's looking at the moment. But if you look at the moment, Chelsea coming off a poor result against Brighton the other night, 1-1 draw. Brighton very dominant in this game. Chelsea obviously missing a number of people and stuff like that, but Brighton really deserved the draw and probably a lot more with it. If you look at Liverpool, they played against Leicester, 1-0 defeat. Not such a bad performance, but just couldn't do anything in the final third. But certainly created chances, just didn't get to take their chances. But looking at this one, the winner will definitely be still in the title race against City. The losers, of course, I think will drop into a top four title race. Really, I think if there's a loser in this game, a draw does no one either any good. But I think if the loser will definitely be in a top four race. Looking at West Ham grinding out a great result today against Crystal Palace, and also Spurs getting a very late winner against Watford. If you look at current form in the league at the moment, Chelsea with a loss, 2 wins and 3 draws. Their form at the moment, really outside of that, all competitions, is 3 wins and 3 draws. Liverpool, on the other hand, 4 wins, a draw and a loss. The loss to Leicester, the draw to Spurs. Liverpool in all competitions, 4 wins, a draw and a loss. So there's reasonable form there. Chelsea looking a little bit shaky, and Liverpool really just starting to feel the effects of what's happening with the CV virus at the moment. That's what's happening. So if you look at team news at the moment, let's have a look at Chelsea first. Both teams are kind of missing a slew of players, really. But if you look at Chelsea, they've been badly hit as well. Also losing 2 guys out the other night to Brighton with injuries. If you look at who they're missing at the moment, obviously the other night they lost Reece James, massive player for them. Christensen lost him. Thiago Silva's out. Ben Chilwell is going to go ahead. He's had his surgery now. It's been successful, but looks like he could be out for 6 months to a year at this stage. Loftus-Cheek is out with an ankle. Werner is out with a positive test. So they're missing a number of players at the moment. Not to mention Lukaku coming out with that interview the other day with Sky Italia, which was unbelievable. Absolutely thrown Chelsea under the bus, and not happy at all. Wanting to go back to Inter Milan, and then the Inter Milan fans turn around and saying they don't really want him either. So leaves him in a difficult position at the moment. So the question is, I think Tuchel's hand is forced at this stage in terms of having to play him. But I think if he had a number of players there fit, I think Lukaku might find himself on the bench speaking out like that against the club, who have invested a huge amount of money in him and had brought him in to be the key player for them up front in terms of goals. If you look at Liverpool's team news at the moment, Robertson is suspended, big loss, but Tsimikas will come in there. Nat Phillips is out at the moment. Adrian is out at the moment. Origi is out at the moment. And Harvey Elliott is out with his injury on the way back, but out at the moment. And it's looking like the final game as well for Keita, Mane and Salah as they head off to the AFCON. We're also hearing news today. We heard from Jurgen Klopp's press conference yesterday that 3 players in the squad and some staff members have returned positive tests. So they will miss out on the game. He didn't say who it was. And my reading on it is the fact that he didn't say who it was is meaning to me that maybe it's a case that they're fairly influential players. There's talk at the moment, there's whispers at the moment that it could be any combination of the front 3 plus Alisson, but we don't know. It hasn't been confirmed. But these are players that hadn't been spotted at training. We also got word today that himself, the gaffer Jurgen, has also tested positive, and he's going to miss out in the game. So Pep Linders climbs into the driver's seat there. Ordinarily, I wouldn't say that's a problem really. I have a lot of admiration for Pep Lenders. I think he's a fantastic guy, carries himself really, really well. Also gives great press conferences and all that kind of stuff. I've spoke about him before on the Shankly sessions. But it's still unstabling a little bit, you know what I mean, when the main man isn't there on the sideline, you know. So a little bit concerning, but it's this whole situation is starting to catch hold, and it wouldn't surprise me if we get news in the morning of more tests and potentially the game getting called off. But fingers crossed it goes ahead. Looking at Chelsea's possible starting lineup, Mendy in goals before he heads off to the AFCON. He'll be a loss for Chelsea at the moment. Azpilicueta's back in, Chalobah, Rudiger, Hudson-Odoi, Jorginho, Kante, Alonso, Mount, Havertz and Lukaku. That's what the possible lineup is at the moment. If you look at Liverpool, possible lineup, Kawivi and Kelleher is going to be in goal. Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Simicas, Henderson, Fabinho. Now, Thiago would have been in there, but we heard that he's not going to make it, that he's not back in full training at the moment. And we heard also that Minamino has only started outdoor running. So the chances are it's either going to be Keita in there or it's going to be Ox. I think he'll probably start with Ox and bring on Keita. And then Salah, Jota and Mane up front. But again, what we've heard today in terms of these positive cases, we don't know if it's related to those guys yet. But listening to Jurgen Klopp in his press conference, it sounded fairly serious, as if it was really, really key players. And the talk is it may have been a combination of the front three, but we shall see. So it's going to be a tough game. There's no doubt about it. Even if we had a full squad, it would be a tough game. It's never easy going to the bridge. We're hoping that the front three hopefully make it, and they haven't been affected by it. Because we really need those guys to give us a performance tomorrow, especially after the Leicester game, so they can send us off with some points. My prediction at the moment is 3-1 Liverpool. I looked at how Brighton dominated Chelsea the other day. I think, you know, if there was ever a good time to pay Chelsea, now is the time. But again, because we don't know the effect of these three cases, we're not too sure, depending on who we have available to us to play. I'm sure the team sheet tomorrow is going to be very interesting. Liverpool fans are going to be tied to their seats trying to figure out who's going to be on this team sheet. And when the team's announced, we'll have a clearer picture. But at the moment, based on what we know at the moment, I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool. I think Brighton put it up to Chelsea the other night. I think they're kind of like a little wounded animal at the moment. And I think it might be a good time to take advantage of it, pending on who we can field. But yeah, Liverpool 3-1. As always, drop your comments down below in the episode. Let us know who you think should be starting. Let us know your predictions, who you think might have been affected by these tests and stuff like that. And let's see what comes out of this one. But this is a massive one. This is a title race decider in terms of who stays in it and who goes out of it. Liverpool can ill afford to drop any more points, especially after the last two games. A poor ending to December. Let's see, can we get January 2022 off to a real good start? As always, Reds, if you want to contact the show, at Session Shankly on Twitter. You'll get us on Facebook and Instagram, The Upper Tier. And as always, you can contact us also on email, theuppertierpodcast@gmail.com. We will talk to you again real soon. Let's do this, Redmen.